Nature Field Trip Science. I'm Sarah. We're going to be talking about the seasons and what that means. The seasons bring about a lot of changes, you guys. So we're going to be reviewing a few things that we've talked about before and just thinking about it in a larger context, thinking about how these things come together. Okay. We talked about this in our temperature control. One of the things that the seasons bring about is shedding. There is control of our fur, feathers, things are changing colors. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but this is all a means of temperature control because as the seasons are changing, the temperature is changing with it. Leaves. This is, you guys, when the leaves fall, this is really, really cool. Part of the reason why the leaves are falling is because it is an adaptation that trees have to conserve water into the winter months. So what is actually happening is they're letting these leaves fall, hence fall. They're letting these leaves fall, and they're doing so because they're not going to be able to have the water that they need to supply that kind of sunlight. So they're decreasing their surface area, decreasing the amount of light that they're taking in order to maintain a balance between the light and water that they're coming in. So this is very cool. And how this works, the leaves changing color, this is all a reaction to chlorophylls changing colors within the leaves, and they're expressing, because when we see colors, we're seeing the color that is not being absorbed by the light. It's reflecting back out to us. So as these chlorophylls are changing in order to adapt to the changing amounts of sunlight they're receiving, these leaves are changing colors and falling. We also have migration patterns. Some animals are going to be leaving the neighborhood in order to find better weather, which we've talked about in depth a bit too, but these are all reactions to the seasons. Let's talk about colors and camouflage. We have a really good example here with our ptarmigan, and if you'd like to see more pictures of these, that word starts with a P. It has a silent P in the front. Ptarmigan. They have a complete makeover as the seasons change, okay? So this is our ptarmigan. We'll try to bring it a little bit close if we can, so you can see these colors. Okay. This should be good. This is our ptarmigan. You can see there's a little bit of white coming through, not a lot though. And we've got a lot of brown and black. Looks completely different. Completely different in the winter. You can see these dark colors. We'll let you guys look kind of closely at it so you can make your own observations. Good. You can look at the tail. Great. Let's look at how this animal looks in the winter. This mount is a little bit more of a sitting down. The only thing that is the same is they still kind of have those orange feathers that kind of make it look like they have eyebrows. That's pretty much the only thing. Other than that, the bird has completely changed colors in preparation for the change of the seasons. And the reason that they're doing this, or this adaptation, right, because they're not really doing this, the reason why this adaptation is favorable is because this is very easily camouflaged in the snow. And so this has been naturally selected to be a favorable adaptation that continues on. So this is very, very cool. So camouflage is very important. And there are other animals that do this. Foxes do this in Utah. They'll change colors. Our gray fox kind of has a transformation. Some other animals that do this we have owls that do this here in Utah as well. So these are some animals that you can be looking out for that are changing colors to respond to the seasons. And lastly is hibernation. We've talked about this as well, but hibernation is really important for the seasons. Again, reacting to the temperature, trying to combat the elements. The seasons can be brutal, but they're also very exciting. When we can make it through winter, we make it out to spring, and there will be lots of new babies being born, again, which is even an adaptation in itself, because it's really hard for a baby to be born in the winter, and the cycle will happen all again. So look for these changes. Look for how the seasons are affecting the neighborhood.
All right, guys, so for our activity this week, I want you to take a piece of paper and fold it into 4 parts, okay? And I want you to label each one of those parts: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then I want you to draw how different things look in different seasons. So you're gonna draw 4 pictures, one under each season, or a bunch of pictures if you wanna do multiple of these. Maybe you could draw yourself and how you change throughout the seasons. You can draw your yard and how different flowers or animals, birds, insects, different things interact in your yard. You can draw 2 different kinds of trees. You can draw how a deciduous tree might look or a coniferous tree. You can draw both and compare them. And you can draw birds, mammals, insects, whatever you can think of. Talk about how they change throughout the 4 seasons. and maybe hypothesize about some of them, some of the ones that you might not be sure about, or ones that you're like, I don't know if they actually have seasons in the same way. Like maybe you could try, what does a polar bear look like in the summer in the Arctic? What does the summer even look like in the Arctic? So you can do a little bit of research on that and decide, I think a polar bear would look like this in the winter and this in the summer, and draw that, and then look up and see if your hypothesis was right. You can also do animals here in Utah. You can look up some that Sarah listed before, like the gray fox or certain kinds of owls. Even ptarmigans live here in Utah. You can look them up and you can see if you can locate them, see them in different seasons, summer, fall, winter, things like that. And you can take pictures and include those, all of the information, all your hypotheses, all your drawings, all your photographs, include those in your field journal. So good luck with your drawings, guys. Have fun researching different animals, and we'll see you all next week.